Well, good afternoon, team. As you saw on the video playback this afternoon, an exciting morning in Council, presenting a paper on pushing papers off the agenda. Be more posts about that a little bit later. Certainly, I'm sure you'll agree that those people doing the environment for the ministry for the environment's job could have been better served serving our community by actually being out there helping other folk collect Prezi cards so they could meet the expectations of the community on Monday. Shameful and embarrassing. Never mind. Next on my list is the question of the insurance. And after 7 months, it's time that was settled. Now, here's my concerns. Quite frankly, it looks to me, from what I've read of everything so far, that the site hasn't been well managed, which has led to a contractor making a mistake and setting everything on fire. That seems to be the general consensus of feeling around the table. Now, my concern about that from an insurance point of view is that if it is seen that the council staff should have been providing oversight in the form of a foreman that was rostered to make sure that all of the relevant fire permits and hot works permits and working on site permits and all of those things weren't up to scratch, then in exactly the same way as with a car insurance, if you're driving it without a driver's license, you won't be covered. If they haven't actually met their obligations to protect their assets, they may not be covered. My sense is that they're trying to pin this on one company's trying to pin it on another company's trying to pin it on the first company. At the end of the day, I'm looking at my family. I'm looking at the fact that we need fresh air, we need it today, we need to stop dithering, and I simply accept that this is $270 odd per family member. So I've got three of us, so that's roughly what, $750, $850, $850 that I'm just simply going to have to take on the chin on behalf of the family. That is our share of the $90 million that frankly I'm starting to think is not going to be paid by anybody, but we also need to stop using as an excuse for not getting on and reinstating all of the infrastructure necessary to process our sewerage in a healthy 21st century way. That needs to get done. An expensive day at council today for sure. Reports in the newspapers that the stadium is now looking at not 50 million, not the $80 million that it was indicated to me that was more realistic, but in fact $150 million more on the budget, bringing it up to almost $700 million, of which the government has chipped in 220 odd million. The ratepayers had 235 odd million, I think it is, from insurance payouts on the old stadium, and now it's going to need 700 million, and before they even start building it, start installing seats at the current rate of inflation, you know that 700 million is going to go up by almost 10% per annum, so $7 million. No, that maths is not right, is it? That's 1%. $70 million a year as we progress through, allowing for inflation adjustments. Or maybe they've allowed for the inflation. I don't know. Either way, some really, really tough decisions. So again, I stand by the claims I made in that chamber this morning, that we need to push off the table the business that is not our business to actually be involved in. So those interesting papers from Wellington, if you're interested in those as a member of the public, you need to get busy, you need to engage. But what we need is our council staff actually engaged in the core business of council, not in the business that other agencies are not doing particularly well. I could say the same for social housing. I could say the same for, and as everybody knows, I'm a serious social housing advocate. I could say the same for all sorts of things that appear to be appearing on those papers. And I can assure you, week by week, I am going to be doing exactly that until we see those items cleared off the table. Because what we've seen starting Monday is our council staff are drowning in too much work to be able to support a community through a crisis. Yet another crisis. We need them focused laser sharp on the crisis in the eastern suburbs right now, not dithering around with arguments with Wellington. Been there, done that before. I've had enough of it. That's why I'm involved in this entire argument in the first place. Have a great night, guys.